Hi everyone, this is Tuplex. Welcome back. Today we're going to work on finalizing the setup of our supply train, or the supply/artillery train that goes all around our defensive wall and takes out distant biter bases, and hopefully will also be taking care of repairs and things like that. So before I get to that though, I just wanted to show you that I have created another copper mine because this one that we currently have was not able to deliver copper fast enough. The train would come and unload and we would run out before the train would get back with more. So I added a second train, which is, making use of the stacker over here, and set up this other copper mine. To do that, I had to extend the wall out a bit, so I just made a little section here that extends out a bit further. I also added another supply stop right here because I felt like we needed to get some artillery, because supply 1 and supply 2 are rather far apart, and I felt like we needed to get some artillery coverage here in the middle of the wall. So I just called it supply unload 1.5 since I had to put it between 1 and 2, and I didn't leave myself enough numbers. So we had to make use of decimals. Okay, so let's get to work on that. And this will also give us the opportunity to demonstrate the use of some of the circuits, some of the basic combinator functions, which I know some people have been asking for. So, all right, so the first thing that we need to decide is what we would like to have delivered to the supply stations. So actually the first thing I want to do is I want to bring this train back. I'm going to bring it back to the base because I'm going to want to empty out what's in there now and reconfigure some of the slots in the cargo wagons. We're actually going to have a lot more cargo capacity than I really need. I'm not really going to need to have 2 cargo wagons to carry basic supplies, but that's the size that it is, so we'll take advantage of that. Just wait for that to get back here. Here it comes. Train's a little slow. Really, at this point in the game, I would probably want to start using solid fuel or even rocket fuel instead of coal, so that it can go faster. And as a matter of fact, I think I'm putting rocket fuel into the network, so we can actually do that. So let's pick all this up, and I'm going to replace these with a requester chest requesting rocket fuel. That gives us a nice acceleration boost. We could even do nuclear fuel. That gives us 250% acceleration. Top speed is the same as with rocket fuel. The extra acceleration is nice, and we certainly have more than enough uranium. But okay, so these are full of a bunch of stuff already, right? So what I want to do first is empty these out. So I'm just going to put a bunch of active provider chests here and stack inserters, and we'll get rid of everything that's in these trains currently. Some of it I'm going to end up putting back in, but certainly not all of it. Okay, and then I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to empty this cargo wagon, and we'll just leave it empty. Whoops, not that empty. All right, so I'm just going to block it off so nothing can go in there. And we'll use this one to carry the supplies. Okay, so it'll be the one right behind where the oil is. All right, and then we'll put some requester chests here, and that's where we'll request the items that we want to take to the stations. All right, so the main thing that we're going to need to deliver are repair packs. Okay, so I'm just using the middle mouse button to clear these filters, and then I'll put one back in here. So let's have, and then you can also shift right click and shift left click to copy. So let's have 2 slots for repair packs. And let's make that our first item. Now 1 slot is, or 1 stack is 100. All right, so I'll request 2 stacks of repair packs. And we'll have those start to load in. Okay, and then I'm going to start clearing all the rest of this. Now, repair packs are really the main thing that we need. The other thing that I want to get over there are bots. So let's put in some construction bots, because from time to time, some of the bots will get destroyed. So we'll put construction bots. That'll go into one of the slots. I think we will want at least 1 stack of laser turrets, because laser turrets occasionally get destroyed, but not very often. So 1 stack ought to be more than enough. Okay, and what else? Power poles. We should probably have some power poles here as well, because those occasionally get destroyed as well, and a destroyed power pole can cause very big problems. Okay, so we'll put in 1 stack of power poles. Whoops. There we go. All right, so I really think that's about it. Pipes might on occasion get blown up, but honestly, I don't think I've ever seen it happen. Yeah, I think this is fine. But we certainly have plenty of room here. You know, we should have a few wall sections too. Let's do a stack of walls, because the walls get damaged frequently, and if there's a big attack, then they could get completely destroyed. All right, so let's do 2 stacks of walls. Crud. I should put the inserters last. Okay, so now I got a bunch of extra stuff. Let me get rid of some of this. Why do I have so many repair packs? There we go. Okay, so these will gradually get filled up. We can remove that, and I'll just put some wall there so we don't forget that we're not using that one. Okay, so that is pretty much it on the supply side. Now let's go to supply unload 1. And I hope there's nothing there that's actually going to start unloading. There is not. Okay, good. So we'll go to supply 1, and then we'll stop the train, and we will configure the unloading station and get that running. And that's really where most of the difficulty is. Okay, and while we're here stopped, let's take out some of these biters that are not normally within range, just for fun. I like to do this every once in a while. Now, when you start doing your infinite research, let's fire right there. See if we can take out some of those biters. See what happens. Here we go. Yeah, see, the artillery is not terribly effective against the biters themselves. All right, well, that'll help. Okay, so we've already got oil getting unloaded. All right, so over here is where we take care of this stuff. Now, all of this junk, I want to take all this back to the base with me. Ugh, okay. Yeah, I just need to... See, I have some of this stuff in my trash slot, so when I pick up one of these things... All right, so now I'm going to open this up just so that I can use this for trash. Okay, tell you what, so the rest of this, I'm just going to destroy. There we go. Okay. Right. Okay, so that's all trash. And then the bot should come and repair this stuff. Okay, so now here at the station, we need to decide what it is that we want to have in storage. Okay, so I'm going to start by placing a single storage chest. And I'm going to have a single filter inserter coming out of here. Right now, I'm going to point it over here because I don't want it to start unloading yet. Okay, and then I need a constant combinator. Constant combinators are used to provide a signal, any signal that you want. And in this case, what I'm going to use it for is I'm going to use it as a signal to state what it is that I want to have unloaded in each of these stations. Pardon me. So what I would like is, I would like in each of these stations, I would like to have 50 repair packs. And I'm going to make these negative numbers, and I'll explain why. So I want 50, but I'm going to put in minus 50. I would like to have, let's say, 3 turrets. I would like to have 5 power poles. 3 power poles should be fine. If 3 turrets are fine, 3 power poles ought to be good. Let's say 10 wall sections. Okay, and then I also want 50 bots. Okay, so this is what I want to have. So this combinator now, if I take a wire and I connect it to a pole, for example, I can see that all those numbers are coming out. So the constant combinator doesn't do any calculations. All it does is output whatever signal that you tell it to. It's completely customizable, and it doesn't have any other function. You can also turn it on and off manually if you'd like to disable it, but that's all that it does. Now, I'm going to take this and I'm going to compare it to what is actually in the robot network. Okay, and based on what is in there versus what I want, I'm going to control this filter inserter to take things out. So what do I need to do here? I need to get a signal out of the RoboPort. Which I am going to, let's see. Yeah, I think I can do this pretty easily. So here I want to read logistic network contents. Okay, so that's going to give me something that is very similar to what happens when I hover over a chest. That's just a destroyed chest. Right, so normally you hover over a chest and it'll show you where it says logistic system storage. You'll see everything that's in storage. Now this says I have 148 repair packs. You can't see them, but that's because they're all stored inside the RoboPorts themselves. And I can start taking out all these logistics bots too, but they're scattered everywhere. Okay, so between all the RoboPorts along this wall, I have 112 repair packs. All right, and then, so what I want to do, this will tell me everything that I have in the network. So as an example, if I put in, let's say, one power pole, now I can see I have 148 repair packs and one power pole in the network. So what I want to do is I want to compare, or I want to add what's in the network to what is in this combinator. And I'm going to use that to activate the inserter. So if I need more than what I have, the inserter will turn on, it'll filter for that item and take it out of the train. So actually what I need to do is I do need to make these positive numbers because I want to get a positive result when I'm short on something, not a negative result, because a negative result won't make the inserter go. Okay, so let's make those positive. I'm going to remove that. And now I need an arithmetic combinator or an arithmetic combinator. I never found out what's the proper way to say it. And I'll put that right here. All right, so now I'm going to connect the RoboPort to that. And again, I'm going to tell it to read the contents. And here I'm just going to input, I'm going to take each input and I'm going to multiply it by -1 and output as each. So what this does is this takes every signal that comes in, multiplies it by -1 and puts the same signals out multiplied by -1. And you can see if I hover over this, input signals are 148 and 1, output signals are -1 pole and -148 packs. Okay. And then what I want to do is I want to add these numbers to these numbers. Okay. And if the result is positive, then I'm going to take more out of the train. So to do that addition, all I need to do is connect my constant combinator to the output side of the arithmetic combinator. Anytime you connect circuits together, they automatically add. Okay, so now if I connect that to this pole, for example, I can see I have a +50 on bots. I have +10 on wall. I have a +3 on the turrets, and I have -97 on the repair packs. And I have nothing at all for the electric poles, and that's because that needs to be a 3 and not a 1. Okay, so now this says I need 2 electric poles. Okay. And then we are going to connect that. Where's my wire? Hello. Oh, there we go. All right, and then those same outputs are going to be connected to the inserter. And I'm going to tell the inserter to enable when anything is greater than 0. I also want it to set filters. Okay, no, I don't need to do that. I'm just going to use it to set filters. So for any positive signal that goes in, it's going to turn the filter on. Okay, and as long as it sets a filter, then it can pull something out. If there's no filter, then it shouldn't take out anything. I'm going to remove the bots for now. We have to do something different with that. Okay, so now I can see that it's got filters set for the poles, for the walls and for the turrets, and it will start to take those things out. Okay, so now let's turn it the right way, and it starts to remove those items. Now all the signals are negative because I have met or exceeded the quantities that I set here, and there's nothing in the whitelist, so it doesn't take anything else out. Okay. Now for the bots, we have to do something a little bit different. So again, I'm going to rotate this inserter just because I don't want it to start to actually pull stuff out yet. We'll use a long one in this case. And actually, let me put that, I'm going to put that right here instead. And I'm going to need to put another RoboPort here. Well, no, I don't need to. I can get the signal. Well, yeah, let me do it that way. Okay, so we'll put that inserter there. Now from the second RoboPort, I'm going to connect this to there. All right, so this one I'm going to set to read robot statistics. Okay, and what I want to do is I want to check to see what is the total quantity of construction bots that I have available in this network. And if it's less than 50, then I want to take out bots from this train car and put them in here. Okay, so total construction bots is coming out on the signal T. And if you want to see what that signal looks like, we could hook it up, again, hook it up to a pole. So you can see it's 112T and 112Z. So that means that we have 112 construction bots in this network, and right now they're all available. Okay, so I'll remove that wire. We don't need it. So I'm going to tell this to enable anytime T is less than 50. And it's as simple as that. Okay. So let's see, where do I have, if I can get a bunch of these bots out. Where are they? There's 4 there. Yeah, see, they're scattered all over the place, so it'll be hard to demonstrate. But this will do the job. Now the last thing I would like to do is I would like to move these. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to pick these up. This needs to be filtered. I'm going to have to rework that. Oh, crud. All right. Yeah, see, this started going nuts because it's not getting the signal it needs. All right, so I just want to put those more in line with the train car here. Okay. So let's reconnect these. So this one is reading contents. Okay, and then, so this one is now working again. I've got some extra stuff here, but that's okay. I can take out some of these walls, actually. Put those back in there. Okay, now in this case, I do need to use a filter inserter because I only want this inserter to take out bots and nothing else. Yeah, so we'll just have to use 2 inserters there. You know, we could even put a little chest in the middle, although it's not really necessary. They can pick it up off the ground. Okay, so let's do this again. So again, this is going to read statistics. This is going to work if T is less than 50, which is not, so nothing's going on. Okay, and that's all there is to it. So now we can copy all of this. I'll put that in here as a blueprint so we don't lose it. And then we just go to each of the stations and repeat the same thing. All right, so let's go to supply 2. I don't need to do this at supply 1.5 because this is actually part of the same network as supply 1. So we only need to provide the supplies in one place. Right, but supply 2, we could do it at supply 3 and skip 4, and then do it at supply 5. Okay, so again, just to reiterate what's happening, we're taking the contents. I'm going to remove this and all this. Whoops, come back. We're taking the contents of the logistic network. We're multiplying it by -1, comparing it to what we actually have. And if there's a need for more, then we pull it out of the wagon. All right, so let's grab that blueprint. We need to put that right there. Oh, let's turn my bots back on. We need some arithmetic combinators and some constant combinators, so let's make those. And I need some filter inserters as well. Okay, now this one currently has no construction bots, so I think we should see something happen here. Okay. Now this says that I have no bots, but no bots are coming out. Oh, that's because I have to turn on the filter. There we go. All right, so now it's going to put the bots in. All right, so I'm going to have to go back to supply station 1 and fix that as well. Okay, so let's delete that blueprint. And let's take a new one. Okay. Now it'll work. Do I need this? I don't really need that, do I? Okay. So now that's all set. And we can hover over the chest and we can see that we've got 51 supply packs, 3 poles, 3 turrets, and I've got 54 bots. Now I have more than 50 bots in there just because I've got a stack size bonus, so it takes out like 3 at a time or something. And that's why I get more than what I actually asked for. Okay, let's go to number 3. And I'll try to remember to stop it this time. Right, and you can use the same principle of using a constant combinator, combining positive and negative numbers to control your inserters. You can use that in any case where you want to control the quantity of material that you're, putting in or taking out. All right, so let's clean up all these extra chests. What? Oh, there's a tree there. Okay, I'm going to pick this up, take our blueprint, paste it down. Okay, yeah, and it got right to work that time. All right, now something that's happening right now is it's not putting 10 walls in. And the reason for that is because it's counting it's counting everything that's in my trash slot as being part of the logistics network. Okay, so that's why you see the output signal on wall is minus 880, and that's because I've got a bunch of wall. So that's why it's not inserting more walls here. So what I could do, if I just put down an iron chest, yeah, that'll be kind of a pain. But anyway, once I go back and I get rid of this and the train comes around again, then it'll add more walls. Okay, so and again, supply 4 is in the same network as supply 3, so I don't need to do this at supply 4, but I do need to do it in supply 5 because that's on a separate network. So let's go to supply unload 5, and we'll do this one more time, and then we'll be done. And then after this, I think I'll only have one more episode where I will try to explain some more combinator circuits that can be useful. I will talk about a few mods that I like to use, and then that's going to be it for this series. And then the next video that I'll do will be a brand new one. Okay, so we get rid of that. Put down our blueprint. And off we go. Let me make sure, yeah, I'm running out of bots here. Let me throw in some more. 53, okay. Yeah, so everything's set here again, except for the walls. Okay, so let's head back to the main base, and then we'll set this off again. Oh, we have to stop at supply 1 to set the filter on that one inserter. We forgot that as well. But we're pretty much all set. So I mean, at this, at this point forward, you really don't have to pay too much attention to these walls at all, because they're self-repairing, and now we have a system in place that will replenish the supplies that it needs to repair itself, and there's really nothing else that you need to do. Just FYI, well, let me wait to stop this train here. I don't want to pass the station. There's one other thing that I want to show you. You probably noticed that on my screen when I put the combinators down, do I have any more? Yeah. When I put my combinators down, you can see what signals I'm putting in there. That's in the settings on interface, show combinator settings in alt mode. I think that is turned off by default. And if it is, then you won't see those things unless you open up the combinator. I like to see it without having to do that, so that's why I turned that on. So if you're not seeing those signals, that's all you have to do. Okay. So I'm going to have to drive manually down to station 1 because the train can't stop at the station when it's going in this direction. It can only stop there when it's traveling in the direction that the station is on the right side. Okay, so we need to set this to bots. Okay, it's still not going to do anything because we've got more than enough bots in this particular network. Okay, back to supply load, and then I'll jump out and I'll start to get ready for the next episode. In my next series, I'll be doing a lot more with trains. A lot more interesting thing with trains, and it'll be a much bigger base. So if you've enjoyed this so far and you want to see something bigger and more complex and perhaps more interesting, then stick around for that. Okay, now I want to empty all this. So again, I'm just going to put in a bunch of active providers, stack inserters, and it'll just remove everything. I can get rid of these logistic bots. Don't need those. And you could leave this this setup permanently as well. So if you're, if you want to drive around your base with a train like this and keep one of the cargo wagons to put trash, to put in things that you don't need, or that you just want to go back into your network, then just set up some active provider chests with inserters, and every time you park the train, it'll take out the trash, and the bots will pick it up and put it in storage. And then hopefully you've got something in place where you're using all the stuff that you get rid of. Otherwise, you'll end up with 5 chests full of wood and stone and old stone furnaces or something like that. Okay, let's take a look at our fuel. I'm gonna remove the coal so that the rocket fuel starts getting inserted. Okay, so let's send that over to 1. You can see, I think you can already visually see how much faster the train accelerates with the rocket fuel. It really is pretty nice. And like I said, usually for a longer game, I would want to upgrade all the trains to use rocket fuel, or solid fuel at a minimum. I definitely wouldn't want to stay on coal for too long because it's quite slow, and it makes a big difference. And then usually I have my own personal train that's full of building supplies that I use to get around the base and build things. And for that train, I will almost always upgrade to the uranium fuel at some point in the game, just so I have the best speed possible for my own purposes. Okay, well, that's going to do it for today. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye-bye.